Threats to democracy and the American people in general in modern-day America is psychological warfare. The use of semantics and white guilt to silence the ongoing practice by the left of historical revisionism. The taking down of monuments and statues associated with the Confederates in the same manner that ISIS declared a military campaign to destroy ancient monuments and artifacts in the ancient city of Palmyra in Syria and the Mosul Museum in Iraq. Now, there is no difference at all between what ISIS has done and what today, only after the Democrats lost the 2016 presidential election, have begun doing here in America. The left has declared an ideological war on the right, created not only to silence and destroy the party at all costs, but also to divide the nation and continue stigmatizing the right in order to usher in the Purple Revolution or the formation of a new Democratic Party. On 2016, the neo-progressives, lefts, liberals, Democrats, Black Lives Matter, Women's March, and advocates of open border policies and pro-refugee programs all simultaneously were activated to promote a narrative about the right that never existed before the 2016 presidential election. And after the left lost all three houses, what occurred next is nothing short of an attack on the right of all Americans to exercise freedom of speech. Now, in December of 2016, Barack Obama signed something called the Counter-Disinformation and Propaganda Act, which in essence allows certain branches of government to utilize the mainstream media, social sites, and other public means of communication and interaction to circulate propaganda in order to, according to them, counter disinformation that's already being circulated here in America by foreign adversaries. Now, in January of 2017, although Obama was no longer president, Obama gave a speech claiming fake news defeated Hillary Clinton and it has become a real threat to democracy. A few weeks later, Mark Zuckerberg claimed that he would be working on solutions to combat what Facebook might identify as fake news, and on the same week, Google made a similar promise. By the end of the month, Facebook formed a group called the Renegade Group to control and or moderate the circulation of information on Facebook, and Google created an algorithm to push right-wing news outlets to the last page of their search engine. YouTube has also deactivated 98% of right-wing channels. So in essence, neo-progressive technocrats now have a monopoly on the circulation of information and can now choose what information they deem appropriate and inappropriate for general distribution. This is the part where idiomatics plays an important part in our ideas of right and wrong and what defines fake news. According to the First Amendment, freedom of press is identified as the freedom to circulate opinions without censorship from the government. Now, the key word here is opinion, not facts, but opinions, which is the reason why many news networks such as CNN can publish a story, then retract the story, no matter how it has affected politics or society, with absolutely no repercussions. Today, the mainstream media is used to give one-sided stories, so now the Confederates fighting to preserve the history of their forefathers are labeled as white racists and bigots, while the aggressive left is painted as the people championing for equality, while reflecting the clear characteristic traits associated with fascists who utilize violence against nonviolent nationalists, whose only apparent grievance is to stop the onslaught against history by removing monuments that were never an issue till the Democrats lost all three houses in 2016 and began an unending campaign of political histrionics to stigmatize the right as racist, bigots, and homophobic xenophobes in order to discourage anyone from the right from voicing their opinions, even though throughout the elections the right was viciously attacked and the media remained silent and no condemnation was ever heard from anyone because, according to them, the left was still fighting and beating the racist right-wingers. What happened in Charlottesville, Virginia has zero to do with racism and everything to do with the right of a people to rally in favor or against an idea without being beaten, attacked, and assaulted by fascist left-wing groups claiming to champion for democracy and tolerance. Do you believe the presence of KKK and Aryan Brotherhood, who just so happened to be walking between the thin line that separated the right from the left in this rally, was the result of great news coverage? I don't think so. This was pre-calculated by the left in order to continue stigmatizing the right and anyone who stands against their removal of historical monuments by effectively fanning the flames of racial tension, and through the use of the mainstream media, continue to correlate racism not only with the right, but with the only outsider who took on the globalist elite while the rest of these cowardly politicians sold us out. Donald Trump is the man. Conclusively, I'm going to ask you a very logical question. If Confederate monuments are as offensive as the Democrats, liberals, and the neo-progressives claim to be, and serve as nothing more than a reminder of a past they'd rather forget, then what purpose do movies like The Birth of a Nation serve? What about Slave by Name, or 12 Years a Slave, and 500 years later? How far will the left go to erase, revise, and practice denialism till eventually the people snap, and it all leads to the persecution of people based not on color, but instead on their ideological views? This is why we have to understand that what's going on here is not a race war, but instead an ideological war. One that has been declared on us by utilizing the MSM and their monopoly on the circulation of information to psychologically coerce us and manipulate us and have us going against one another. Sorry about that. With that being stated, everybody, stay safe, stay informed. La Maga, let's all make America great again. One topic at a time.